Hi, everyone. It is so exciting to be here again. This is Levon McMillan, the founder and CEO of Advocate for Me LLC and the host of the Advocate for Me podcast. So, we are back in effect. We have our special guest, Victoria Jambi, here with us today. And it's funny how we met. Social media always bring the people to me.
It's true.
I don't care what nobody says about social media. God has a way of making divine connections. And so Victoria and I met on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. And so we linked up in our DMs, and then I'm so excited to have her on the show today. So welcome, Victoria. Tell the audience who is Victoria and what you do as far as your organization, and let the people know who you are.
Hey everybody, so my name is Victoria Djembe. I'm a self-autism advocate. I teach West African drumming for people with disabilities and people with autism. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 3 years old. Couldn't speak till I was 7 years old, and I use African drumming as a way to build social skills, self-confidence, independence, and its healing from the soul. Uh, I started my drumming career pretty late in my life. I'm in my 30s, and I started, in my early 20s by African drumming. Basically started, taking classes at Old Town School Folk Music in Chicago, Illinois. Actually, a high school administrator gave me a djembe as a gift for my high school graduation. So that's how I kind of started, seeing the djembe and stuff like that. And then I took that, to college, played in some choirs and churches while I was in college. And then after that, that's when I started to take djembe very seriously by going taking classes. And then a year or two later, I joined all female a group called Ayodele Drum and Dance in Chicago, Illinois, where I've been basically a musician, lead drummer for like the past 10, 11 years now.
Wow. Wow. Did y'all hear that, y'all? Like, wow. Just to hear that journey from you being diagnosed yourself, and then now you're sharing your gift that somebody had to tell you that you had. And
Mm-hmm.
then now you took it and you help others with autism and other disabilities. So I commend you. I'm so like ecstatic about what you did, because sometimes you hear people's stories and it's the opposite, but you took what was a strength and a power for you, and now you're pouring it into others. So tell me, as a self advocate, because you're able to tell your story from your point of view when you're working with the other children, tell me how it is for you when you're working with them and you see them be able to play the drum, or you find their gift for them, or their superpower. How is it for you as a self advocate, and then how do you feel that the child may feel, because you experienced that, someone pouring into you.
Right.
So yeah, just give the audience like an idea of how you feel as a self advocate, and then how they feel with you working with them.
I mean, so as a self advocate, you still learn about yourself and who you are and who you want to be and stuff like that. So you always evolving, always growing, always learning. So for me, it took me into my adulthood to accept my diagnosis. My family didn't really talk too much about autism or disability. They would kind of shunned it or hide it. They didn't want to talk about it. But basically, I feel like what made me talk about it was. Basically an incident that happened in Ayodele where it was basically just some miscommunication that was going on. People didn't understand who I was and vice versa. And I got into one of the arguments with one of the drummers, the male drummers that came from out of town, and I didn't understand sarcasm. I took stuff very lyrically, and because of that, the director said, something's not right. Let's talk about it, and that's when I opened up about autism.
Mm-hmm.
So as a self advocate, you always evolving, you always learn about yourself. It took me time to, to accept that I had autism. And I say, what, it's my duty to make sure that, it's not, we shouldn't be ashamed of having autism. We should, able to use that as our leverage to be an example for other people so they can, be more encouraging and show that you could do anything that you put your mind into. So that was basically my main mission to say, what, let me take care of me first, as a self advocate, make sure I'm able to heal from my past, and then from there, that's when I can help other people with autism or disabilities to find their niche and what they wanted to do with their lives. With my program, Victoria Djembe Academy, there wasn't a lot of programs and activities that cater to people with disabilities, and parents are scrambling trying to find programs, find activities for them in the summertime, especially for camps and stuff like that. And I feel like my program, is year round. It's not just for the summertime, but it's year round, where we have monthly drum classes for the community and people with disabilities and stuff like that. And we make sure that if they can come to my area, we come to them. So we make sure that we could come to them and provide those activities and drumming and stuff like that, especially cultural drumming. It's not too much of that going on. So that's why I wanted to make sure I provide that. So as a self advocate, it's all about evolving, accepting who you are, and then for children with disabilities, it's all about encouraging and showing them that you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes, awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. So when you said that do you just travel locally or do you guys travel all around?
Well, I travel. I travel all around. I have drums. I have my own drums that the students use. So it's basically funded by me. I basically bought. I invested money to buy these drums, and I had some grants here and there, but most of it was investments that I had bought those instruments. And some people gave me some instruments here and there and stuff like that. So we make sure we cater to everybody else because not everybody's because my classes in Chicago is on the south side.
Okay.
So not everybody in the community is gonna go to the south side. So I
Mm,
have to make sure I cater to them. If I have to go to the suburbs or somewhere in the city or even Nashville, if I have to travel, then I will do so.
okay.
Because it's about making sure it's a need in our community, and I will not let travel or anything stop that from happening.
Mm. And so do you travel with the kids often or is it just you that
No,
travel?
usually just me. I would
Okay.
travel on my own. Usually, basically, I'll bring my own djembe, and I probably buy some little djembes that the kids could use and stuff
Mm.
like that. So yeah, that's how I do it.
Okay. And then when you travel, do you teach classes when you go to different places?
Yeah, I would travel and teach, but also mostly perform and
Mm.
stuff like that. And, to kind of educate them about the West African culture. Oh, good. It smells
Get
good.
you here
Very
to
good.
Philly. So, what's one thing that you would share with the family? Because I know you kind of touched on it just a little bit. That your family really didn't talk about it. They shunned away from it, and then so I have two questions. So, one, do you feel that they shunned away from it just from culturally, or is it that you think they just didn't want a lot of people questioning and asking a lot of things about your diagnosis. So, what would you feel? And this is personally for you. Um,
Yeah, so I feel like it's both.
okay.
Culturally, a lot of Africans they feel ashamed if a child is different or something is wrong and they don't want to talk about it. But also, what they don't want to say anything because they don't want to be embarrassed or they don't want to be made fun of or ridiculed. So stuff like that. But the thing is, we have to remind ourselves that it's not about them.
Mhm.
It's about you. You the one that's living with them, not them. So you have to put that to the side and say, what, let me find the resources for my child and to better her instead of trying to worry about what other people think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you about that. That's how I was with my son. My son was born premature, and then later with the diagnosis of ADHD. And we got all the things like because he didn't start talking. He would say like one word phrases, but it was like three, four, maybe five before he really said like complete sentences.
mm-hmm.
So they would just be like, "Oh, well, he's going to talk when he wants to," or so and so as a cousin, they didn't talk till they was 7, and I'm like, okay, but I was that person that seeked out resources for him.
Right,
Like I constantly, that's exactly how Advocate for Me started. Was we
right,
started out, I would find resources for myself and my son, and then I would share it with families,
right,
and so that's how we started as an organization, providing resources, advocacy, and training for families, and so resources is a very important part for families, and I know it's hard to find them. Like I found myself sitting at the computer night after night after night just searching and searching and
right,
searching, and we're in West Philadelphia, so it's not
Mm.
a lot of organizations that's catering to our children with autism and or disabilities. And so even like you were saying, you're in the south side of Chicago,
Yeah.
and so to pour into our populations and our families that we're working with is definitely important to have that resource, that outlet,
Absolutely.
and then also to have someone that's experiencing it being able to pour into the children.
Right.
So has any prodigies come out of the organization? Like, have you had any students that you've worked with where they took the gift too and they like drumming and now they travel and perform?
Well, they travel with me
Okay.
to perform, but not on their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like an outlet for them to
Mm-hmm.
do and stuff like that. So I'm basically collaborating with another organization. Well, I would say a social group called Chicago Warriors. Adonis Hamer, he's the founder of that, and he basically have a group of adults live with autism and disability. They would go to like bowling games or basketball games or go out to eat and stuff like that. Because it's kind of like a group that's coming together and stuff like
Okay.
that. So I
Mhm.
kind of use that, say, hey, let's just collaborate, and come together instead of just have a separate program and stuff like that. We all have the same mission. So,
Exactly.
so it's like why we have to separate ourselves. So that's what I did with my group. So basically, I have some students that are really good. They catch up, very quickly. Alex, he's one of them. He picked up the rhythms very quickly. I could give him a part. He could play just like that. So I would say him the most, much improved. I think Michael Washington, another student of mine. He knows the parts and stuff like that. So a lot of the students they're very smart. They know how to pick up some stuff. Some students struggle, but I think those two, Alex and Michael, they really show some progress.
Awesome. Awesome. So just so I know you have the organization, you have is it John Bay?
It's
Like the
djembe.
Jim Bay.
Yeah.
Sorry. My
So
apologies.
Victoria Djembe Academy.
Okay, Victoria Jim Bay Academy.
Yeah.
And so with the academy, what are like your future goals for the academy itself? And is it a nonprofit? Because I know you.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm basically working towards that, being a nonprofit. But I've been, continuing. I started basically in June of 2021. June 2021 is when I started my organization because there wasn't a lot of programs, activities for them. And basically, I was just searching and scrambling, trying to find it. And then a friend of mine, Ia, had told me about an organization called Lead with Love, and
Mhm.
they basically was they had program there's an organization in the school where I'll teach African drumming, and then I went from organization to organization, just hustling, going around the whole city, finding organizations, and then finding schools and stuff like that, and partnerships, and just building on top of that each and every year. So that I started from scratch, from the
Yeah.
bottom, just like Drake was saying, start from the bottom. Now we
Yes.
here, so
Yes.
I started, basically on my own, just going from organization to organization to school, just networking my butt off, and just
Mm,
put myself out there.
yeah. Yeah. So what's your future goal for the academy?
The future goal for the academy is basically to grow the class. We continue to do the monthly classes. They will be traveling to perform and perform at other events and local events, or even national events. So
Mhm.
basically, to broaden the organization, where the kids not only learn the drumming and the music, but they also get to perform at other places.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's basically the main goal is for them to have something to look forward to, and not
Mhm.
just be a class, but opportunity for them to perform and showcase what they have learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Awesome. I have another a mom that I found on social media on Instagram, and she's in Tanzania. She's
mm,
actually here in the United States currently right now.
right.
She's in Seattle, Washington. Um, doing some research on an organization that she wants to take back to Tanzania. So
Mm,
I'm gonna make sure I link you two up.
okay.
Maybe we can have that trip on over to Africa and you
Yeah.
guys can go there and play. I keep telling her I'm coming. I'm coming to Africa. So it's in my prayers that I get there one day. But I'll
Yeah,
definitely thank you too.
yeah,
So that way y'all can probably make that happen.
right. Let's
Um,
do it.
and so with the organization, what are the ages of the students?
So it ranges from like 8 to 12, and then the teens, and then adults. So I would have all those ages all at one time. The
Oh,
parents are very hands on, so some
mhm.
of the parents would join the child, and they would actually play as well. So then they're not just watching, but they
Mhm.
also join as well
Oh,
to make sure that the child is good. So
okay.
usually, if I have younger kids, the parents will come along and play with them.
Oh,
If it's older kids, the older kids they can manage on their own. So I accept basically everybody from, like, I would say, from like 5 to, like, basically adulthood.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. And I love the fact that you include the parents in it.
yeah,
Because then it could be like a family affair.
exactly. That's basically how my class is. It's more like a family class where the
Okay.
parents and the child get to play together. We had that on numerous occasions. One parent, Kara, and her son Thomas, she would play with her son as well. So it's a family vibe, basically.
Oh, wow. Have you had any kids who has started out with you that was non-speaking and then now they're from the class and being engaged and being around other people have they like started picking up like
Yeah, I won't say nonverbal, but I would say very shy and very limited in talking. I had
mhm,
one student, Michael. He was very limited in talking. He didn't really say much, but I think as he loves it in class. I remember one time the mom asked him, verbatim, "Hey, do you want to go to class?" He like, "Yeah, I want to go."
uh-huh,
So he actually speak up now than ever
mhm,
before, and if he wants to go somewhere, he can say that. So
okay,
I would say Michael Washington. Her The mom is actually the owner of Divine Purpose Fine Arts Center. That's where I have my classes at. So her
okay,
son, she has two sons that's on the autism spectrum, and Michael is one of them. So it's good to have an owner that is also a mom with
yeah.
autism as well.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So you definitely have built like a connection, a community,
Yeah,
going from organization to organization. Like you said, you started from scratch and then now you have like all these different groups and organizations that's working with you, whether it's, you're just partnering with them because they have people that's interested in your organization or you're utilizing their space for your organization. I
right.
love the fact that you're partnering because partnering is always
It's the key.
um is yeah
It's the
because
key.
like you
You can't
can't
do
do
everything by yourself.
yeah, yeah,
You can't
yeah.
do everything by yourself, and that's my thing. Because like I don't have a big staff, so it's
Mhm,
just basically me and two other people. But I'm the main person doing the work because
mhm,
I don't want to rely on my staff to do my work for me. So I want to make sure if I'm at resource fairs or networking events, they know I'm the founder and
mhm.
not somebody else, or they mistaken somebody else. So
Yeah.
that's why I make sure I'm at resource fairs, networking events. I'm just everywhere. People say you always everywhere. I say that's the whole point.
Yeah,
If you're not
yeah.
everywhere, then you're not
Hey,
doing your job, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah, so, right.
mine.
Because I don't want people to say, "Oh, she's not social," or "She don't talk." You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying? Do I say
mhm,
hi to every single person that I come around?
mhm,
No, but
mhm,
I make sure I'm out places where I do
mhm.
say hello and stuff. Do I want time for myself? Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So, it's not like I want to say because people make a big deal and say, "Oh, you didn't say hi to me." It's like what I'm saying. We don't know each other like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
And sometimes we just so focused on what the assignment is that
right,
it's not like that we're being antisocial. We're
right,
focused on,
exactly,
being there for what we need to be there for.
exactly,
And then, getting the assignment done.
right,
Because
exactly, exactly.
people say the same thing about me. Like, you just, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like that tunnel
Yeah,
vision. Like, I was just making sure I was going where I
right,
needed to go. So,
exactly,
um,
exactly,
sometimes we can't take that too personal, but then
right,
it's also if you said hi to me, then I might have realized that you was over
right,
there.
exactly.
So,
exactly.
so yeah, so but I'm so I'm thankful and grateful that you and I were able to link up on Instagram.
Yep.
I was watching your social media with some of the things that you had on there, and then you sent me the flyer because I think when you and I talked, you guys was about to have an event coming up, and so tell us how that event was, and then and if you have any upcoming events coming up.
Well, I just about my monthly drum classes, or
Yeah, I think it was like it was the flyer for the drum classes, but I feel
right.
like I was about to have an event. It might have been like a resource fair or something that was coming up.
Yeah.
And you all talked in February.
Yeah, so February, yeah, we had a resource fair. Usually, I work with, I go to other people's resource fairs. I
Mhm.
did the, I know what you're talking about. So every February, the Answer Inc. Deborah
Yeah.
Vines,
Mhm.
she's a well known person in the autism community. She has an event called a Pre Valentine's Sneaker Ball.
Mhm.
So I went to that and I performed there. I kind of promoted my classes, met with parents and families. So she has that every year in February, and then in March they have the Disability Developmental Expo
Oh,
every
okay.
year in March. So I didn't get to go to that one, but I had my class just this past weekend, March 22nd, at Divine Purpose Fine Arts Center. And then on April 19th, we are having an autism event where we will celebrate artists that's living on a autism spectrum. They'll get to perform, they share their story and stuff like that. So I will be bringing my students to the event, and they'll get to showcase what they have learned. So that's another example as far as performance based, where
Mhm.
you're not just teaching them drum stuff, but they actually get to perform and showcase what they learned. So that's the goal, as in broadening that. So April 19th in Chicago, Illinois, the autism event will be located at the Salud Center, which is in Chicago, South Side. I'll have the flyer. I will send that flyer to you
Okay.
after this. So it's just events like that.
Okay. Awesome. Um, so who was the person that taught you the drumming in the beginning when you
Yeah, so his name is Michael Taylor. He's my first djembe teacher. Michael Taylor is my
Okay.
first djembe teacher at Old Town School of Folk Music. He taught me everything I need to know about the djembe and the different instruments and the different master drummers. And he actually trained me to, train me up so I could teach on my own and teach in various schools and stuff like that. So Michael Taylor.
So, what would you say to Michael Taylor now? Like, what would you say to him? Because if like, if he didn't instill that in you and see that gift in you, then then you wouldn't be able to be there for the kids. So,
Right.
what would you say to Michael? Uh,
Taylor, yeah.
yeah, Michael
Uh,
Taylor.
so I would say thank you. I actually talked to him not too long ago. I would say maybe a week ago. I talked to him and stuff like that, just check in, see how he was doing.
Mhm,
I always say thank you every time because he believed in me when nobody believed in me. He
mhm,
gave me opportunities, to suffer his classes when he's out of town and stuff like that. So he trained me. So I'm very grateful
mhm,
for him, and I definitely will continue to take his classes to this day.
mhm.
You never stop learning. So I'm very grateful for Taylor. I would say thank you.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So normally our last question that we always ask our guests is three things. So one is one thing that you would leave with the audience. It could be something heartfelt, it could be a scripture, it could be a quote. So anything that's something that's personal to you that you want to share with the audience. And then the second thing is how they can contact you, whether it's via email or social media. You can share that information, and and the last thing is anything that you want the audience to know
Okay.
in general. And then yeah, so I'll pass it
Okay.
off to you with those three things.
All right. So the first thing for the parents, never be discouraged. You know that it's a it's a journey. Every child is different. So just take your time, find those resources, keep fighting each and every day to find those resources. Make sure you connect with people, and that's the same thing for the people with the disabilities. Never lose hope. Keep going strong. Don't let anybody try to diminish you or
Mhm.
let you think that you can't do nothing. I had to fight, so fight for what you believe in and what you want. You belong in this world.
Yes,
You
yes.
belong in this world, so don't let anybody tell you that you don't belong. You do belong in this world. We are all different. We all have gifts. We all have goals and dreams we want to achieve. So let's achieve it. Let's go for it. And
Yeah.
then second one, so the events we have coming up, April 19th, the autism event that's going on. May 24th, we have our drum classes back in Chicago. We are willing to travel to your area. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say that right one more time. We are willing to travel to your area so we can talk logistics and stuff like that. So we are willing to provide the drum classes in your area. You could contact me social media, Instagram, Victoria Djembe. Djembe spelled DJEMBE. You can also email me at victoriajembe@gmail.com as well. And you get my information from there. So email victoriajembe@gmail.com, Instagram at Victoria Jembe, Facebook Victoria Boateng, which is my actual last name. Boateng spelled Boateng. So you can contact me. We are willing to come and visit you. I willing to come to Philadelphia. I
Yeah.
know Autism Rec.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Jamila, we actually started our businesses around the same time.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I definitely would like to come and visit y'all and
Yeah.
do some drum workshop and performances and stuff like that. So we can
Okay.
definitely link that up. So
Yeah.
like I said, I am willing to come and visit you all to provide African drumming for our community because our community comes first.
Yeah.
We are important just like everybody else. I had talked to Jamila in the past, but I
Uh-huh.
know our schedule conflict was in the way. But I
Okay.
definitely want to come and visit this year. I
Okay.
love the work that she does, and I definitely
Yeah.
want to collaborate and provide some African drumming and stuff like that
Yeah.
to her
And I know her and the kids will definitely enjoy that.
Oh
So
yeah,
so
so
yep. So yeah. So I'll reiterate. So
right.
yes. We definitely gotta get you here. I my book. I did a anthology book. My very first book that made me an author
Right.
was in Chicago, Illinois, with Erica Gilchrist, and so I haven't been there since then. That was 2016. So I went maybe like one or 2 years after that, but I haven't been there since 2018. So
Wow.
I definitely got to add Chicago, Illinois back
Oh yeah.
on the travel list,
Come
and then
on, come
definitely
on.
got to come and see y'all.
Oh
So
yeah.
looking forward to it.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm grateful that you reached out to me on social media. I guess that would be a question. So, what made you reach out to like learn more about advocate for me? Um,
Yeah, so my thing is, I try to reach out to everybody that's
yeah.
doing autism, anything autism related, disability related. I'm a sucker on Instagram for that. Uh, that's how I find your page. I like the work. I'm just trying to collaborate with everybody,
Yeah,
honestly. And
yeah,
if I could, travel all over the world to do this type of services, that's basically my main goal.
yeah.
Is to reach out to families outside of my state.
Hmm.
And that's how I found anybody with autism or disability, I'm finding you.
I know that's right. We
So
coming, we coming, we coming there. Yeah.
right,
So I'm so excited for you, what you're doing with the families. Can't wait to see you guys perform. I'll reach out to you because we have a couple of in-person events.
okay,
We have one where we do an award ceremony. It's normally in December. We didn't have it last year, just because my dad had passed, so I
no,
still
I'm
was
sorry
like
about
trying to
that.
get my life. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Trying to get my life together.
right, right, right.
And so we're looking forward to hosting it this year,
Okay,
and honoring the people that we had on the list. So I'll definitely reach out to you because we had like some performers performances at the award ceremony.
Okay, I definitely love to come.
Yeah, so we can see if we can make that happen. And then we also do I call it Autism Moms Night Out, but this year I changed the name to Moms Thrive On.
Mm,
And so we have a Moms Thrive On community where we meet once a month
okay.
virtually. And then now we're working on an anthology book. So for moms that want to share their story, their journey, and letting others know exactly what you were saying, like as a parent, we got to push through, we got to look for resources, we
Mm,
got to pour into our children, because unfortunately this world is cruel, and we got to build our children up so
right,
that they know that when they step foot out of our houses, that they're meant to be there, they're meant
right,
to be in a space, they're meant to use their gift, and don't let anyone change that
right,
for them. And so, and that they are enough, like they
right.
can be there.
Absolutely.
um and so this year I changed it to Moms Thrive On, and so we're doing an in-person event, and it's for families who are caring for their neurodivergent children.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I actually done some drum workshop with the moms before.
oh, okay.
So I've done that actually this year. I basically did an African drum workshop for the autism moms.
Hmm.
For the past, I would say 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So I definitely would like to come to your area and we could do an African drum workshop.
Okay.
For the moms and stuff like that. So
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that. I definitely would love that. So yeah, so we'll definitely be in touch to see what how we can link up and for the events for you guys to come. And then I'm also going to link you with the mom that's from Africa. Cuz
okay.
I feel like, yeah, I think that would be a good connection right there. She
Oh
she
yeah.
does a lot in Tanzania, and she has like a lot of events. But like I said, I know she's in the States currently right now doing her research. So thank you for coming on and sharing with us what you're doing in Illinois and the South Side part of
Oh
Chicago.
yes. That's it.
South Side.
I say it right. That's it.
And so, I commend you. I thank you for, taking your gift and your passion and taking it out to the world, sharing it with children, sharing it with families, sharing it with with their parents, and allowing them to see, that their child, has a gift, and then they get to partake in that gift with
Right.
them, playing, the drum. And so continue doing what you're doing. You already know that you're meant to be there, you're meant to serve, you're meant to be there for the families. And God's going to make a way for you to make sure that the whole world knows Victoria Jumbe.
That's the
And
goal.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
I got it just from us talking just now.
Yes.
Like, I'm so excited for you. And so, to our audience, thank you for listening today. Thank you. Anyone who wants to reach out to Victoria, she shared her contact information, so definitely reach out to her. However you can support her, whether it's monetary or whether it's to help out with the children or to ask them to come and perform at an event. So we thank you for listening to our podcast, Advocate for Me podcast today. And as always, peace and blessings until next time. Talk to you later.
Yes. Yes.